I read Rules of Civility by Aidan1, and I would give it a 7 as my rating. And I'll explain later why I didn't give it a 9.5 or 7, because it wasn't my favorite of the But, so, it was basically about, so there's the main character, Katie, and then her best friend, Eve. And on New Year's Eve, they were at a club, and then this rich guy named Tinker comes in, and so they start talking to him, and they become good friends. So then Eve goes on to this year-long journey where she's traveling in the higher statuses of New York City. So, well, my favorite part of the book was basically when they were in the different clubs. So it's like, it was interesting how, like, people who are in the lower classes spent their Friday nights, opposed to how rich people's clubs were different and more appealing in some ways and not in some other ways. So my favorite character in the book was Eve, because she was a likable person. She was pretty, and she knew who she liked, and she had good judgment. Except then, the author, he kind of tricked Eve, So what the author did was, he had good deception. Like, he passed off evil characters as really good people. Like, then, but that was also kind of bad in some ways. Like, I didn't like, so he broke up friendships and relationships. Like, so the best, so Eve, Katie's best friend, as I said before. So you'll never guess. The evil character broke their relationship apart, and in the end, Eve moved to LA, and so Katie was all alone, and it was really sad and stuff. And so then, what happened was later, you'll never guess who the bad character is. It's Tinker. I know, right? It's really weird. So then, I wouldn't really recommend it to other people because, well, I mean, you could read it. I mean, it wouldn't be your favorite book of all time. I mean, it was a little slow in some parts. It wasn't a me book, and so it might not be a you book, but, I mean, I still liked it. I would read it. I would rather read something different, but it was nice to read. It was out of my comfort zone. Well, maybe not my comfort zone, but it was out of the ordinary, and I learned a lot. So I was really glad that I read this book. You might too. You might, but yeah, you don't have to read it. I mean, I would actually recommend it. I'm not saying that you have to read it. Yeah. So, yeah, you should probably read this book.